Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they played as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Very important when you're dealing with a person that they wear a lot of masks, they create facades, but you feel like a closeness, like where you feel like this person feels like home. So you're like, this is an oxymoron. It's like, I love this person, but this person triggers the shit out of me, you know? So understanding the relationship, the dynamic of the relationship from a spiritual perspective allows you to see it from a different perception, obviously, and that allows you to not be triggered. It also allows you, because you're not being triggered, and see, a lot of times when we get triggered, we react, and then how we react is whatever the karma is. But we're reacting from not really what's happening, but usually from a previous experience that this person has activated that wound because of how they're acting. So again, we wind up recreating the same karmic experiences that keep us in a lower state of consciousness, of disempowerment, of lack, of limitation, of feeling separate from God, separate from each other, separate from ourselves. Because God is the energy of unconditional love. That's the energy of the universe. See, there's a dust part of self, which is the ego part of self, but there's a deity part of self, and the deity part of self is God part of self. That is the energy of unconditional love. That is the energy that we were born into this world with. We didn't have perceptions of anything being off with ourselves. We saw ourselves as perfect. We didn't we didn't even have one consciousness or another about it. But just like Adam and Eve, that was in the Garden of Eden, that when they ate the apple, they became awoke and they became awakened to the horrible aspects of life. And when I say the horrible aspects of life, it's death, it's lack, it's pain, it's suffering. So understand that we learn through pain and suffering the most. So, from a spiritual perspective, everything's in divine order because you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Your mission is to experience and become the energy of unconditional love. And that means you experience unconditional love through all different types of love. The love that you have for a parent isn't the same that you have, obviously, for a lover, for someone that you just love, that you're passionate about. But the most love that you should have is for yourself. And most people don't have enough love for themselves. So the universe brings them people that are in alignment with how they feel about themselves. That's why it's really important to do shadow reading, to do shadow healing, I should say. Shadow readings help create awareness, but you're the alchemist of your life. It's like when you hire a coach. The coach can only be a good enough coach if you're going to show up and you're going to, give yourself that love. We all have to reparent ourselves. A lot is manifested collectively. What did our parents grow up in? What was going on? Just like the poor parents that gave birth and had children, very young children during COVID. How scary it was. What are those children programmed to perceive about the world? Lack, not enough, not good enough, because they witness scarcity. So just like when our ancestors lived through a depression, it's the same thing. So it's to understand that, again, your environment creates your reality. because you form habits and behaviorisms that are built on what you're perceiving. So when you're in a relationship with a toxic person, that's why it's you actually reprogram your DNA. You can program your DNA. What turns on the genes to having cancer, getting cancer. I mean, again, we're spiritual beings having human experiences. You are the alchemist of your life. You can heal your life. It's possible. It's possible. I always feel like I should say at the end of that, I'm not just the Hair Club president. I'm a member. I'm not just a shadow healer. I was a member. That's what Master Psychic Healer means, that learn the art of healing through healing oneself. And I'm still on my journey. Showing up here every day is part of my journey because God knows that grounding was not my strength. I mean, grounding. Uncomfortable to be in the physical world if you've been traumatized, right? And you don't feel good about yourself. Don't want to be grounded. Rather be in your imagination. But that's not why we're here, right? All right, let's jump in. Oh, anything of any relevance to the channel is in the description box. Okay, I'm not going to go through to the spiel. You already know what's in there, or you should. You should know the directions if you win a reading with me. All readings are live. I believe in spiritual law. I also wrote the reason why in the description box. Also, my life coaching program link. If you're interested, you just have to fill it out. I think that that's it. I try not to bombard you guys with too much information in the description box, but there is important information there. Website link. All right, let's jump into the actual reading and see what is the underlining energy. If you want to enter into winning a reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write this word in your comment bar. And the word is anger. And the gift of style. Well, I feel like you're in connection with someone that is angry, and they're angry because you are actually doing your thing. The gift of style is your own unique unfoldment process. So I feel like you do something unconventional for a living, or again, a hobby that you put a lot of time towards. And that could be anything from having a karaoke, skit that you do every Wednesday night to an art, crafts, again, whatever it is that you have a life and that life is unfolding. And so the gift of style is our own unique style. It's about the way that we go about life. And I feel like what it is like this person doesn't want to look at you. But I feel like you've been in separation from someone for a while that's been stalking you. And they've been stalking you to try and find out about you. And I feel like this person is angry because they perceived you wrong, but it's also the fact that you're so involved in your own life, enjoying your life, and not paying attention to this person that they're actually angry. But I feel like it goes much deeper. I feel like the fact that you're enjoying your life and you're, again, finding your gift to style is when you're co-creating with God. Because when you're co-creating with the universe, because when one door closes, another door opens. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Who do you think does all that? It's the universe. And the universe is ubiquitous. And the universe is that God energy, which is the energy of unconditional love. So you're in alignment with this energy. And because you're in alignment with this energy, so you have a very high vibration right now. And this person, again, it's making them look at themselves. And they're having a pity party for themselves, to be honest with you. They're like, angry because, I feel like this person didn't see you as that. I feel like when they met you, you were someone that was just had an ordinary life, basic life, and almost that they had a better life. And now I feel like they don't have a better life. And I also feel like here it is that you're like in this, just not giving them the time. This person had a big ego also. And they were like, everybody likes me. Everybody likes them because I feel as if this person has a good job, or at one time made a lot of money, had a lot of money, or had the facade of having a lot of money. So they would present themselves as wanting to have a relationship, but they never really wanted to have a relationship. It's like, so this person expected for you to like really want to be with them because they were like, there's nothing special about you. How from the outside, because you weren't like very flashy. You weren't like someone that's very like loud and flashy. Doesn't mean that you don't dress nice. It's just there was nothing special about your life. Now this person is actually seeing that like you live like no other person does. Because again, the gift of style is that there's no way that the universe is actually making a way where there is no way just for you. So it seems very magical. It seems like, wow, like everything that you say that you're going to do, you wind up doing. That's the thing with Virgos. Virgos like are very, very, very intuitive, very creative, very sensitive, and they are magical because it's all that. I mean, come on, the Virgin. You can't get any more feminine energy than that. You just can't. Now, even if you're a guy, understand those traits are extremely prominent. It means you're going to be very methodical, you're going to be very organized, you're going to be damn good, or if not the best, at what you do. It means that you can be very sensitive and emotional, but you also have a shell that's led with the analytical, which is that I'm nobody's dummy. Virgos scare people because we have so much yin energy. Can come across cold when it's not. It's actually very mothering. It's very mothering. But for people that feel inadequate, it comes across as like because it's intimidating. We're actually not intimidating if you're kind, if you are nice, if you're respectful, if you are opened. It doesn't mean you have to bow down to us. But it's this totally different energy where I feel like the person that you're connected to, whether they're a girl or a guy, it doesn't matter. They have a lot of yang energy. There's a lot of masculine energy there. There's a lot of anger there. Just a lot of like, and it's because control. You're making me like look at my life and making me feel bad about my life. Because the one thing that this person had is that people would fall all over them. And here it is, you're not falling all over them. So it's this energy, two totally different energies, by the way. Like, which you're not feeling this person because you're at such a high vibration and you're directing your energy towards creating. You're pouring into yourself. You're not pouring into this person. So I feel like that this person is actually mad because they wanted you to pour into them without really doing anything. Because Virgos will always give if they're given to. What happens is Virgos tend to overgive when they finally let somebody into their heart, and then that person tends to take advantage because went from one extreme to another. So that's why there's a sense that this Virgo in this story is balancing out. And they're balancing out because they're giving this person exactly how much they deserve and spirit is the one that's determining how much they deserve by how busy this Virgo is because the Virgo's in the gift of style. So this person has a lot of time to think. They have a lot of time to think. We'll see what they're doing, and then we'll see how they triggered you. We'll mix it up a little bit. But here it is. It's like that you're at a totally different vibration, and this person is not healed, so they're not going to come across as their life is better than yours. This person wears masks. They want you to perceive their life as a certain way. Again, where they say they're in victim. So I feel like this is this person's karmic theme. They don't want to see what they did. They don't want to see how they made this connection what it is, which I feel like is non-existent. This person is afraid of relationships. They expect people to come in and do all the work. That's really what I feel. Um, you intimidate them. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're on too high of a vibration, and it's because you're in the gift of style. This person had expectations, I believe. And I say that because I got to be honest with you. I tried to do this reading 2 times before, and I dropped the deck of cards, and then it's like it just didn't make sense. So I had to start over a few times, and I got that again, like intimidated. Why? Because I feel like again, you are in a high vibration, so you are not someone that's going to get results really fast, but you are going to build steady, you're going to evolve steady. And the reason why we don't is there's no quick fixes is because everything in life is spiritual. So your success is a spiritual journey. The how much love you pour into something, how much time, energy, focus, and money you put towards something. The gift of style commands that you give all of your energy because the gift of style is from the genius part of self, and the genius part of self is the higher self. That's the God part of self. This is why this person's so angry because again, your light is really like making their demons angry. But it comes back to like again their environment of they what they were taught about themselves by how their parents lived. Collectively, we inherit our ancestral karma, and we may not even like our parents and say, I'm never going to be like my mother. I'm never going to be like my father. But growing up in the environment where you learn this to deal with stress and deal with life and to deal with how you perceive yourself and people back in the day, especially, if you lived if your 50s, in your 50s, in your 60s, we grew up more from a dogmatic perspective, which is that God is outside, that God is separate from the universe, that the universe is just air, just like this non-living entity almost, where meanwhile everything in the universe is living, and it's the energy of God. Sacred geometry is all through. That's that's the energy of unconditional love, that everything has a time, that everything has a season. And so when we have grow up in an environment where our parents like are imbalanced, we're going to inherit that. And so imbalance could be there's not enough money, and that you watched your parents struggle financially. And so that made them feel that there was something inadequate with them because they're looking around at everybody else and they're saying, well, everybody else bought a new car. Well, everybody else lives in this house. Well, everybody else can do it. And they're not focusing inward because anxiety will make you focus outward for more threat. So understand reconditioning the nervous system would be important for this person because they again are living more from a survival perception, because whenever we're in a place of, I mean, these are all horrible energies. Look at this: victimhood, intimidated, and fear. This person couldn't be more fearful. They couldn't be more fearful. So I understand over time when a person is fearful, what does it turn into? It turns into anger. It turns into resentment. It turns into like again, just anger because it doesn't feel good to live in fear. And so I feel like this person may even have addictions. Now I say parents, because they inherited certain habits and behaviorisms to deal with their stress, right? I mean, that's what we see here. So let's see what other things that they would. Well, it says like again that they inherited lack, like there's not enough. I'm not good enough. And it's because of how much they have. I feel like they grew up in an environment where, again, that's what they lived, lack. And that's a real root chakra imbalance. So we're going to see the worst types of behaviorisms, just so that you know, because the person doesn't believe in themselves. They're more led by fear. They're more led by their ego. They're not led by the spirit. And here it is. You are only being led by your spirit. Only. You're like, again, which is why this person is so intrigued, but they're so angry because it's like, again, makes this person reflect back. And what happens when a person hasn't really healed, they obviously haven't forgiven. And they get stuck saying, well, where did this come from? It goes back to childhood trauma from their family and being taught more about conforming to the needs of and wants of what that family wants instead of what they want. And here it is, you're free. Understand that's what you're doing. Like you're free. No one's telling you what to do. No one's telling you when to do it, why to do it. Like, no, you're free. And, like you're able to come and go. So this person envies your life. This person envies that, and is that making them angry? Because I don't think that this person ever, I feel like you're gonna think it's crazy, but I don't think that they ever even thought about this like as an option for themselves, like to live on their own, to come and go, to the work, to have their own business, to be able to like again, like your life is appealing to this person. This person's life is not appealing because they conformed to what their family believed more than what they believed, but their family wasn't balanced. Their family came from a survival perspective. So they never get good outcome. They always wind up in a place of victimization because they're not coming from their true self, their higher self. They're being manipulated and persuaded by their family. It's like because they haven't gone out into the world and experienced anything. They haven't lived from the spirit part of self. They've lived more again from what works for their parents, but didn't work for their parents. So again, the parents might have grown up where it was all about the Joneses. Oh, look, Bob bought a new car across the street. Well, which I wish I had a good car. It's again that then they watch the parents being victimized. I can't get a new car. And it's like, well, my boss doesn't pay me enough. Do they decide to go out and try and find a new job? Do they try and work on themselves to make more money to buy that car? No. They stay in a place of victimization. They stay in a place of being intimidated. But there is behaviorisms that come from feeling lack. No one can, and that's out of alignment with the universe because the universe is abundance. The universe is inside of you. Again, it's the energy of unconditional love. And if we're in a place of lack, we're definitely not in a place of unconditional love. We're in survival. We're in a survival mode, and that's what the problem is. So over time, and so the person doesn't trust themselves, and it's because they feel empty, and it's because they have trauma. And this is really what's navigating this is what's navigating your connection right now. You're in separation from someone that's watching you in such a high vibration, and you're wondering why they're not coming towards you. And the reason why is because they feel intimidated. It again brings out their lack. They're seeing what they would need to do to be on your level. And part of that is not even the hard part. The hard part is this person's codependent. Again, they've adapted to the habits and the behaviorisms of their family, which means that they're still really in an environment that reflects that. That's where they're giving most of their time and their energy. So you being in a connection with this person, you'd have to retrain them, which you don't want to do, which is why you're in this high vibration, which the spirit wouldn't let you do that. Because again, if you're in a high vibration, you're in the gift of style, you are in creating. So you're not looking at this person. And spirit says, well, I'm utilizing you to awaken this person of a different way of being, that it wasn't all about just getting married and settling down. I feel like this, for some, that it's like this person might have grown up in a very religious like type of background where they were supposed to get married, or cultural background, not just religious, but cultural, where they were supposed to get married young. And they did get married young, but in that they didn't go out and find themselves. So their perception of what like a relationship is not really accurate, because when you get together with a person that hasn't found themselves and you haven't found yourself, well, both parties are never really going to feel 100% fulfilled. And what's going to fulfill them is the material gain, buying things, is everything outside. It can't generate that happiness and that passion within. And so this person's relationships don't really work out, because again, they're out of alignment. You are in alignment because again, you're creating yourself. So your life may not look very fancy from the outside, but you are very fulfilled. And this is what this person is starting to see. Because again, they're in a space where everybody finds me desirable. It's like there must be something wrong with you, that you don't find me desirable, but it's making them angry because again, you're free. And that could also be where this person may live on their own, but they're still like influenced by the way that their family and their ancestors thought. And so they're living by those rules and not their own rules. And so life looks very easy for you. Because when you're in the gift of style, you know that the universe is the one that's in charge of how you get to wherever you're trying to get. That your perception of what you can have is limited. So when you put it in the universe's hands and you're in alignment with that unconditional love by doing what you love, the path unfolds. So it looks very easy from the outside, but no one saw all the hard work that you had to put in, because Spirit's not just going to give it to you. It's like, no, there's certain spiritual lessons that you have to go through, and there's certain things that you have to do to actually even create yourself to begin with. But it's almost like this person's angry is like, I feel it like it's like there's part of their ego that wants to say, oh, it was easier for you. It was easier. So, I mean, this person's jealous, really. That's why they're angry, because there's a perception that they can't have it. But the problem is that this person has a fear of change, and really, again, of the family patterns, literally, that keeps them sad. They really need to do inner child healing because, again, that jealousy. So that's the problem with this type of connection, like why you wouldn't be able to be in a connection with them. Because they're jealous. And the person that's jealous will try and put themselves in competition, try and sabotage, and try and take what's yours. And that's what you'll see. Where really I feel like this person's angry because when they could have given you the time, they chose not to give you the time. And you're creating a new life. So you're going to leave this person behind, and this person's mad about that because it's like your life, it looks so good. When meanwhile, when your life didn't look good, because the gift of style is, again, in the beginning, kind of looks like a child. You're being like childlike. You don't know exactly what you're doing. You're just emulating and trying to find your way. So it doesn't look like you'll ever like do people don't understand it. It doesn't, not saying it doesn't look like you'll ever become it. However, for this person, through their perception of who they are, they were projected onto you how they feel about themselves, which is nothing is ever going to happen for you. Like you're living a pipe dream. Now things are happening for you because again, the path unfolds. But remember, the universe will protect you from an energy that is not, doesn't have your highest interest, as long as you're protecting yourself. And you protected yourself because you were in the gift of style. So again, this person never got close enough because they never gave you the time when they had the opportunity. And now that, they want to give you the opportunity, now you see them in a different light. And that's the problem. I mean, this person, I want to actually use this deck. I'm going to see again what this person like, if they're going to do anything, if they're going to do anything to like fix it but I feel like this is what the problem is. They're angry because, hey, they didn't want to have to come back and apologize. They didn't want to have to come back and actually give energy. Remember, they thought of you as less than, which meant in their mind that you were always going to be there because again, that's what normally happens for them. And now they're seeing you differently, but that energy, you were always different. Now they just see, oh, wait, now I see like your worth, where before they didn't see your worth. So again, it's like right now, it's a lot of self-examination. This is what I'm saying. And what they're saying is that there's again deep thoughts about this, which is triggering for this person. Like I said, you want to know where they are right now. They feel vulnerable. They feel um, paralyzed again and powerless and feeling helpless. And it's because again, it's this connection makes them see like how inadequate that they really are. And it's like it doesn't mean that there wasn't a connection. There was a connection. However, Spirit says sometimes the connection is just to awaken what needs to be healed. I mean, this person could have, but I feel like they feel vulnerable now. They see you as a great catch. Um, if anything, they would still try to bait you a little bit, okay? But right now they feel powerless again. They feel helpless, vulnerable. It's again, but they want to, it makes them feel like it brings out a lot of different feelings and emotions inside of them. It makes them look at themselves, and how can I get to be with you? And really, the only way that this person really feels like that they could, because you're such a great catch and they see you as that now, is like to kind of like trap you, like to try and it's like because they feel like they're not good enough. And so at this time, it's like it's unlikely that they have the courage to even come towards you. Because right now, what this situation is, again, is all about spiritual insights. It's all about, teaching this person. That's really what it is. It's like they see that the energy that you're in, but it's also like they are not on that same vibration. That's the thing. It's like they see you as first class. That's what they see you. They see you as someone that also is not going to be very you're gonna have a sharp tongue with them. You're gonna like if they were to come back and this person is not a strong person. They might have created that illusion, wore that mask again because everybody else thought that they were good looking. But again, they've never run into a person like you before. So it's again, I feel like you're someone that does say what you want to say to this person, meaning like you would not mince your words. And this person knows that. And you'll be dead on. This person may act arrogant. They may perceive you as arrogant for calling them out on their nonsense. So again, then they become overly sensitive. Oh, you called me out now, well, overly sensitive. You hurt my feelings, and try to make it all about how you said what you said and not really what they do. But understand this person knows, again, that you're first class, that they definitely have a respect for you that I don't believe that this person normally has. They don't have respect for themselves, never mind, anyone else. But like you stood up to this person. It's like you were like, okay, like they weren't giving you what you needed. Here it is. You're in a totally different energy and one that looks magical, but worse, one that's bringing out like everything that's like that this person wishes that they were doing. Like you're living your life, you're free, you don't have to answer to anybody, you like what you do. There's a sense that this person may be connected to people that they don't want to be connected to, work a job that they don't want to, has responsibilities with family, an ex, it could be anyone, but they don't feel like their life is theirs. That's number one. Number two, they work a job that's not fulfilling to them. They're not free. So even if they like their job, they still have to go in from 9 to 5. They still have to go 9 to 8. You're not working like that. So this person sees you out and about. They see you again, like you maybe work like odd hours or whatever, like that. But there's a sense of, again, the gift of style is your own. It's like whatever you're doing, they see that it's your own style, it's your own want. You're living life the way that you want to live it. So why would you go back with this person that's living in it a way that they don't even like? And that is what's awakening this person to say, I don't like the way that I live and I want a different life. And I also know that you would not be with me unless my life was that. And look at this person is like they want to reclaim their power. It's again, they want to change the status quo of how they're living, like I said, which is why you came into this person's life. Literally is what spirit is saying. And that it's almost like you're just can't, this is a connection that it wasn't a forever one. Yes, there was passion, but that was it. It was just because this person was supposed to like stay connected to you long enough to learn the spiritual lesson per se. And so spirit says that because it was like again passing through short lived. It's like again it wasn't, and it was just to mirror, right, to help this person see what needed to be healed, but also for you to heal something. And so we're going to see, but it all leads back to self-love, which, right, what are our shadows? Our shadows are parts of ourselves that we reject, parts of ourselves that we don't like, parts of ourselves that we don't love. And so God says, well, you are love, so there is no separation. So that needs to be healed. And if you connected to this person, well, it's not just about them, like with their self-improvement, but you too, because there's insecurity there. There's, to make you self-aware, to again help you heal. It's blocking you both from having abundance. That's why. So again, we saw how it's affecting this person and why you came into this person's life. Let's see why you came into what your lessons were. What did it awaken inside of you? What are you supposed to know? Because you're a mirror of who comes into your life. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have the same um, blockages, but Spirit says there's only two energies, love and fear. There's still blockages. And Spirit says, oh, these are not the inner child cards. Sorry about that. Those are the wounding cards. I like to use the inner child cards for this part. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Like, so let's see what they are. It's water. Huh, look at that. It's like this is your second chakra. That's what it symbolizes, that you can go with the flow of the universe, but we go with the flow of the universe when we're in the gift of style, because we're in the flow of the universe through the energy of love, through doing what we love. So you learn that in childhood. That's a gift. And that's a meaning that no, even when you were younger, that you couldn't be molded. Like your family would say, no, you need to be this person. And you were like, nope, I'm going to be this person. And it's like, you should think this way. And you were like, nope, I'm going to think this way. Like, so you were someone that just marched to your own drum, it's like, and unapologetically. And that's a gift. Play. You learned how to do this in childhood. Like that's why it's like this is your default. It's like if somebody isn't accepting of you, if someone doesn't love you, if you're not getting what you need, you learned to give it to yourself at a young age. I feel like for some, your parents encouraged it. And for others, the trauma of being controlled did it. Suppression. In this story, the family again like tried to suppress you, and again from living your truth, but they couldn't stop you, like I said. So very well when someone like is trying to persuade you off your path, is trying to influencing you to put your time somewhere else, because you were raised by people that did that because they didn't understand your process, which a lot of people will not when you're again on the road less traveled. That's your own path. So when you're again your own path is a road less traveled, it means that you're willing to take the consequences of what financially that might mean. It means that you're willing to take the again like the responsibility to take the bad with the good, which again, people just tend to see the good, but it's again, it brings you joy, it brings you happiness. It's again, and discipline. So spirit saying you again, no one ever did anything for you. It's not, it's not that. And maybe again, you came from a home where there was a very controlling, but it didn't matter because you always did what you wanted to do in the end. And there was always this playful style. And, you had to do things that were going to bring you happiness, bring you joy. And Spirit says, so you disciplined yourself to do it. So these are actually gifts. And so Spirit says, so when you say that your family didn't do anything, they weren't supportive. No, but if they would have been supportive, you wouldn't know how to be so much in your own energy. You wouldn't be just going with the flow of life, and being in the gift of style allows you to do it, meaning no matter what's going on in the outer world, it doesn't matter because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. You're imagining it, so you're creating it, and you're becoming it, and you're becoming it, and you're becoming it, and you're disciplined to do it. And this is what this person's seeing. This is why this person's getting jealous, getting mad. It's triggering them. How come you're not thinking about me? It's like, because it's like there's more to life than just you. And that's what this person has never experienced before. Five, and we're going to pull one more. So we don't really see anything negative here. Look, joy. You're like, I had to learn to give myself joy. I wasn't going to let anyone steal my laughter. Yes, I disciplined myself to, again, go with the flow. And yes, it is like finding myself, becoming myself. And that is how you play, right? You invest in the things that you want to learn. You invest what brings you happiness, what brings you joy. It's like you learned how to fill your own cup, even when people try to suppress you. So Spirit says, so this person was really no match for you. It was that you are on a higher vibration. Spirit said, I wanted to show you that you do have some gifts that from growing up in the environment that you grew up in, even though you may not think that they're gifts. I mean, I had to bring this type of energy into your life to see, again, this person's really in survival. You're not in survival. You're in the passion for life. And so it's completely different energy on such a different vibration. And Spirit says, you know, this was just, it could have been a test. They could have taken you off, but you were too disciplined. That was never going to happen. I feel like it was for you to maybe experience people that think really from a left brain and, they work the humdrum life and they did get angry because there was no passion in their life. And Spirit says, so growing up in that environment and then having someone try and control your life because they don't understand what you're doing because you march to your own drum. You want to not go to college and you want to be an influencer or you want to travel around the world or you have these ideas. Um, and Spirit said it's to love someone like that, to see that there's the pain that the person actually struggles with living that life, but is too terrified to change. And so any energy that is of a high vibration is going to be intimidating because this person every day devalues themselves. And Spirit says, and you grow up in an environment where your family, again, that's someone that you loved, worked a job that they didn't like, and they were resentful, and they didn't believe that they could create happiness and success by doing what they love, by actually having their process, allowing a process instead of trying to become what other people told them to become. It was like it's very different energy. It's very yin energy, as we said before. It's very feminine energy, and feminine energy is creative energy, Spirit says. And all for the reasons of deep wisdom to learn, break that karmic energy again, to see your situation from a different perception because you are breaking that ancestral karma. Because, like I said, growing up in an environment where a parent lived the way that this person lived, to release the limiting beliefs that came from that environment. They don't serve you anymore. Like you freed yourself. And what did I say? This person just feels like, I want that life. I want that life. I want that life because I just want to be able to experience freedom. I want to experience freedom in a way that you experienced it, like you're always happy. And it's like you're living right. I don't live right. It makes this person feel inadequate. It's again because they need to bust free from the limiting beliefs that are binding them. This person says like first and foremost, acknowledge what you have already overcame in your life. Okay, that's first of all. It's like that. Look how life wasn't easy. You came from the same type of environment that this person came from. They just learned how to survive through the logical and analytical mind of going to school and attaining money and doing this. But now it's like the money isn't built making them happy. They give their energy away. They don't fulfill themselves. They're not happy. They're not satisfied. It's like, and they're angry, and here it is. It's like, what are you doing? You're listening to your soul. You're like, you're in your soul's path, okay? That's what's happening. And this person sees that as, again, that you have limitless potential, that things are going to happen for you, that, again, that the world, that this person limited themselves. And it's not how smart you are, it's how much love that you put into something. It's how much you believe. And really, that's what it is. So you get to go into this uncharted waters to find yourself again, to again be able to really find your limitless potential because you're going to be put into new situations and experience is that this person hungers for. And of course they're jealous. They feel like they can't have it. They can have it, but they have to change their life. And that's how their comfort zone. They're going to have to be the alchemist. You are the alchemist of your life. It's like you grew up in the same environment with the same, like, it might have not been the same, like experiences, but grew up in um, the same type of experiences that form the same behaviorisms that you had to overcome, that you had to learn, and you did learn. You learned how to escape through, again, by playing. This is why it says the child that survived thrived. Because again, you survived through your imagination, through playing, through creating, through making your own joy. No one was going to do it for you. Where this person might have grown up in the same type of environment, but they got their happiness and from being the fixer, the helper, being smart, from doing what they were told and not really venturing into their own. And so we leave off on one last thing, which is serenity. Through love, release, and inner work, know peace. Have a gentle view of life and welcome every step with confidence. Remain brave in the face of fear and have the wisdom to let the universe do its work. So Spirit's saying it's like you also know that if something's not bringing you peace, you don't want to be in it because it takes you out of that creative energy. You don't want to go into the logical, analytical mind trying to figure out why a person's the way that they are. You just want to be at peace and understand that the universe does do its work and it brought you this person so that you can see things from a different perception because I feel that you did love the person that lived the way that this person did, from that very logical, analytical mind being told maybe to be a lawyer or a doctor or this or that, but then never finding success and never feeling successful and always feeling empty. So having to fill themselves with outside things, which is in this case, this person did with relationships. The relationships that were empty didn't go anywhere and never fulfilled them. And here it is, this person first got triggered by you, but it made them go deep within inside of themselves and help you again forgive through seeing the situation through a different perception, your own personal situation with your mother or father that lived that job that they hated and listened to their parents and were influenced by their environment and they suffered for it. Where you said, I'm not going to listen to any of that, I'm going to listen to myself. And that's how you broke that ancestral karma and family karma. So I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.